Hey guys, this is Jaden at Quality Stoves and Spas. We delivered a Malaga Life Wellness Spa to this lovely couple in Hayden yesterday, and we're going to be doing a how to fill your hot tub video, and it's going to be a great stick around. Okay, so we're going to start by opening up the cover. When Quality Stoves and Spas does a hot tub delivery for you, we install this cover lifter for you. You got the Wellness steps and everything. With these, you typically want to open these covers from the middle. Okay, but since it's just me out here right now, we're just going to open it. I'm going to reach in and try and get it from the middle so that I'm not torquing on the bar. Okay, I'm just going to get that off. Our first step is we're going to want all of the jets inside of this spa to be turned clockwise. Okay, we're going to open all of them up. Now on some Wellness models, and this can get confusing, some hot tub models also, counterclockwise is going to be all the way open. So make sure that you ask your salesperson or whoever that you bought this hot tub from, hey, is the jet turned all the way on when it's clockwise or counterclockwise? So what we're going to do right now is just make sure all these jets are turned clockwise. Okay guys, so all the jets are opened up, all turned all the way clockwise. Again, depending on your model, that could be counterclockwise. On this one, it's going to be clockwise, okay? So jets are all open. We're going to want to fill the spa now, okay? Depending on if you're filling off of anywhere that could be hard water, mineral-rich water, heavy iron water, really oily water, there's all kinds of instances where these can be super beneficial. So this is an Eco 1 filter. We also have the X10 filters at the shop. The X10 filters do a great job also. They're very, very comparable. You're going to want to attach this onto the end of your hose, and then when we fill it, we're actually going to fill it through the filter bay, the entirety of the fill. Never are we just going to put the hose inside here because you can cause airlocks that way, but we'll get that whole thing on camera. Okay guys, this is what that filter looks like out of the box. We're just going to thread that onto the end of this hose, and what you want to do when you get this threaded on is let it run through it for 5-10 seconds. We'll just be conservative with it and go 10-15 seconds, but we want all the filter to just start going through. You want the water to flow through it for a little bit. So I'm just going to point this off the deck here. You got charcoal filter in there, so it's all black at the start and everything, so we just want it to be nice and good. What we're going to do is fill this through the filter bay. So we're going to take this off, take your skimmer off. Okay, when a Wellness gets delivered, it always has plastic wrapped around our filter. We just already took the plastic off, right? So make sure that you remove the plastic from this filter. And we're going to put this down into the hole. If you want to come in here, you want to put this down into this. At the very, very bottom of this, you're going to see where the actual plumbing hole is. And we want to fill it right through that hole right there. Okay guys, so while this is filling, the general rule of thumb on 9 out of 10 hot tubs, okay, is that you want to fill the hot tub water up into about 1 to 2 inches below the headrest, or 1 inch above the jets, but typically that's the same line, right? So you got like a yay big gap. For this hot tub, it's going to be right about here, about 1 inch below the headrest. And you are always on a Wellness, you're going to have a little sticker in them that says recommended water level, and you can go off of that and fill it to that, and that is useful. But sometimes, just remember, sometimes a person in a factory is putting that sticker on a shell. And so sometimes that could be 1 inch too low or 1 inch too high. So don't take it as doctrine, right? You have to watch where that is and then make sure that your jets are covered as well. Okay. On some Wellness models in the Peak Life series, you'll have a specific few jets that are actually designed to be above the water line, but that's not this spa. So we're going to fill about the water to right here. All right, guys, so while the hot tub is filling with water, one super cool thing that Quality Stoves and Spas do, most dealers I hope do this still, but you can bring in like a mason jar or a ball jar full of water, and we'll actually do like a super good deep dive on your water for free. So you bring in a mason jar full of water. Typically, I'd like to see you do that before we actually fill, okay? In this instance, we didn't get a water sample beforehand, but we're filling with a filter. He has good water, so we know everything's good here. But if we were to gotten a mason jar, we could say, okay, so we know that the source water is always going to be high in pH on the fill. So you're going to need more pH down moving forward. Or vice versa. Your pH could always be low. Or maybe if you pull off a city and you always have chlorine in your water off the tap, right? Or you have really hard water. There's so many different things that we test for that you just can't at home. And so if you bring in a mason jar full of water, we can tell you, hey, here's what you can expect moving forward on the fill. And that would also be a really good inclination of, are you going to need a pre-filter for your water like that X10 filter or the Eco 1 filter? Or are you totally good to just fill off the garden hose? So that's one really good helpful tip. Always bring a water sample in before your fill. So while it's filling the hot tub, I figured let's talk about chlorine versus bromine systems. This lovely family went with a chlorine system. You can always switch to a bromine system or vice versa. It's not a salt system. It's not built to be a salt system. And we'll make a whole nother video on like water care and those products and which sanitizers do different things. And that could be a long subject. But today we're going to be filling with a chlorine setup. And so as soon as the water gets up to temperature, once we turn the power on and we start everything going and the pumps are running and it's all heating up, we're going to put in 2 capfuls of chlorine granules. And we'll get that on camera when we do that. But a chlorine system is super, super easy and simple. And you can also do floaters, which is, you know, the little blue bobbers that float around and automatically sanitize and dispense. So we'll cover that stuff in another video, probably more in depth. All right, so as you can see, the recommended water level is at the sticker that it says to fill to. But if you pan over here, we're actually still not there yet. So like I was mentioning earlier in that video, great example of what can happen is we still need probably another, I would say, 1 to 1.5 inches of water, which means that sticker is probably 1 inch to 2 inches too low. And that's okay. That happens all the time. Like I said, it's a person in the warehouse putting a sticker on the acrylic saying it's about right here. But now we know the stickers can be wrong. You want to be about right here. We got another 1 inch, 1.5 inches. All right, so we're 1 to 2 inches. We're about 1 inch below right now. All the headrests, the water's full, which is great. We're going to take this thing out, turn the water off, and now we can get started with the rest of what we got to do. Alrighty, so water's full. We're going to put the filter in, put the skimmer back on, cover this whole thing up, get the power onto the spa, and let this thing start pumping up and heating up to the desired temperature, and then we'll talk through some of the water care stuff that we're going to do. This is a Wella 7-button panel. On this one, this is going to come on the Malaga Life, the Lima Life, the Vienna, the Lugano. A lot of Wellis models are going to have this panel. And here's your settings, your circulation, your lights, pump 1, pump 2, up and down. This is how you're going to control your heat. So right now it's set to 104. We're going to get this thing nice and hot. And then what we want to do right now is I'm just going to show you how the diverter works. So I'm going to show you the pumps 1 and 2 in action. Okay, another helpful trick for you, okay? Any Malaga Life, or actually, again, 9 out of 10 hot tubs that do have manual diverters, okay? So that's gonna be, on this model, it's this big one right here. You never wanna spin these and change all your pressure when the pumps are rolling and on high, because it's not good for the diverter. The water is pushing water up against it at high pressure while you're trying to push something against that water, and it's just not good for those two pieces to combat each other. So if you ever want to change your pressure to one side or the other side, which on this tub, this is pump 1 that's being diverted, then you're going to want to do this when the pump is turned off and then turn pump 1 back on, like so. Now, the waterfall is really nice and high. The pressure here is really nice and big, right? And then if I do this, convert it all over, pressure's really strong over here on this side now, but I don't want to go wrenching on this thing when there's water going against that fin on the bottom, because it's just not good for your parts. You're going to wear through your parts faster, and nobody wants that. So when we set customers up with a Spa Pure startup kit, like I said, this lovely couple selected a Spa Pure chlorine startup kit, which is a great kit. It's going to come with a lot of the products that you're going to use on a startup, and then it's going to come with a lot of the stuff that you may or may not use moving forward, right? So it comes with some samples in it. We'll go through again a deep dive on what comes in the packet another time. But for now, what we are going to do when this water reaches at least minimum 80 degrees, we're going to start getting warmer. We're going to add in 2 capfuls of this chlorine just to start off the system. And then what we're going to do is, this is for every 100 gallons, you put an ounce of stain and scale in. This is really good for stripping out the oils, the metals in the water. We want to extend the life of the water that we're adding it in and make it more enjoyable, more relaxing for you. We don't need you, the customer, playing chemist, trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. So again, if you ever have any issues, bring a water sample in to your dealer and let us test it and see what's actually going on with it. But on startup, 2 capfuls of your sanitizer. We're going to put in, on this hot tub, it's about 300 gallons. We're going to put in 3 ounces of stain and scale as it gets warmer. And then we're going to give it some time, and once that stuff starts to work its magic, probably tomorrow, we'll come back and we'll throw a couple capfuls of shock in so that we can gas out and oxidize some of that product that had already been used on the fresh fill. And shocking is incredibly important. We'll hit that on another video too. You can check back in our videos for stuff on that. I'm sure that we have a lot of really good stuff on that. But what we're gonna do today is, when this hits about 80 degrees, 2 capfuls of chlorine, about 3 ounces of stain and scale, and then we can just let this thing keep on heating up to 104. On a Wellis, when the pumps are on high, you're gonna have 3 size knobs for topside control, okay? So this knob, the little knobs, are almost always going to control waterfalls and water features. These ones that are a little bigger are going to control things like air adjustments, like the bubbles on your jets. And then that diverter that we already talked about, that's going to be the big one. So the big one's always going to be the diverter. The medium-sized ones are going to be air adjustments. If you look down here, notice how my jets all got way bigger, way stronger. It's because we just infused cabinet air into the jets, okay? And then here, you'll see the little topside control. If I turn this is gonna be able to turn off or anywhere in the middle. Sometimes you don't want them all the way up like this, and you just want nice, peace, quiet, but you want your jets on. You can turn them off. Whatever you want to do there. A lot of people just run them nice and low. Thank you so much for watching this video. It was a pleasure doing a startup, how to fill your hot tub with you on a Wellis Malaga Life hot tub. Don't forget to hit subscribe, like the video, whatever you can do. We'll keep putting out some good material for you. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day.